Hey guys, so in a previous video we hooked up and connected the Inovelli scene enabled switch, and I mentioned that in a future video we are going to be taking a further look at the scene ability of these switches, and well, this is that video. Now there are a lot of different things that you can do with these scenes, but in this video we're going to try to keep it simple so you can understand how it works and how to get it set up quickly. So let's get started. What's up guys, it's Drew from Taylor Tech, and on this channel we do smart home tech reviews, installations, and DIY guides. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. And hey, at any time, check out the video description for show notes and product links for everything mentioned in this video. Now before we do get started, I want to mention that this video is sponsored by Inovelli. If you want to purchase an Inovelli switch or for more information about them, you can check that out in the video description. Alright, so other than the physical switch installed and set up with SmartThings, as you saw in the first video, we're going to need a smart app called Advanced Button Controller. Now you may have seen me install device handlers and smart apps a million times before, because I have, but if you don't know how to do it, follow along. If you've already done this before and you know how to do it, just go ahead and skip ahead. What you're going to need to do is log into your SmartThings IDE. That will be the first link in the video description, is the SmartThings IDE. So once you log into your SmartThings account, you will come up to your locations, click on My Locations, and then click on your hub name right here. Mine is called Taylor Castle. And then from there you can go into My Smart Apps and leave it there for now. The next tab that you'll need to open is for this Advanced Button Controller. It says beta, but it's been released for a long time now, so I would just ignore that. And what you want to do is scroll down to these two boxes here, and there is a child and a parent app, and I will show you what to do with either of those. So for starters, click on the first parent app, and this will take you to a GitHub, and all you need to do here is click raw. And then I will do Control A to select all and Control C to copy. Then we'll go back to our SmartThings IDE under Smart Apps where we are, and we want to select New Smart App and From Code. And we'll just paste the code in here and click Create. Here we want to save it and Publish for Me. Now we want to go back to my Smart Apps, add another new Smart App for that child app, and we want to do From Code, and we'll go back to the GitHub page, go back again to the SmartThings forum, where we can go back to that child creator smart app. Now this one, it says do not publish, so we're not going to publish it, but we are going to go back to raw, select all, and copy it, paste it, create, and we'll save it, but we're not going to publish it. Normally you would select Publish for Me, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to save it, and now it is in there. And now that should be all you need to do on your computer. Let's go ahead and move this aside, and you'll need to jump into the app. So we'll go into the SmartThings app. I use the SmartThings Classic app as usual, and you want to go to Automations and Smart Apps, scroll all the way down to the bottom, add a Smart App, all the way down to the bottom again, My Apps, and this is where all of your apps that you've added on the IDE are located. At the top of the list is ABC Manager. So we want to select New Button Device Mapping. We want to select our button device, and mine is called Bedroom Ceiling Fan. And now we have all these different button options. So there are buttons 1 through 6, but button 1 is simply turning it on and off. So we're just going to ignore that for now. So at the top here is what Inovelli tells you that a double tap up or a double tap down actually does as far as the button goes. So a double tap up on the paddle would say pushed, and a double tap down on the paddle would be held. So since we're in the bedroom, we have two lamps in there. So what we're going to do is turn on, and we're going to say up, which is pushed, and we're going to select Amanda's lamp and Andrew's lamp, and that's going to go ahead and turn those lamps on. So we're going to go to switches turn off, and we're going to go when held. So Amanda's lamp off and Andrew's lamp off. Select both of those. So now double tap, which is pushed, Amanda's lamp and Andrew's lamp will turn on. and under turned off, we put held, which means lower button twice. That will be Andrew's lamp and Amanda's lamp turning off. So from our switch, we're able to turn on and off our lamps now, after I save this, of course. Now, this is a little bit of a test. I'm not sure if this works. So if I go to the bedroom ceiling fan, I say that because Inovelli is not supported with ceiling fans. So I do have to mention that this is not recommended to work with a ceiling fan because of the higher amperage draw. But like I mentioned in the first video, I don't actually use the fan in that room ever. I just use the light. So keep that in mind. Don't install this with a ceiling fan. If I go into settings, you can actually disable the local control, which actually disables that relay inside. If you physically push the button on or off on the switch itself, nothing will happen. So I did disable local control. So in theory, if I add a button to number 1, which is a single push up or down, we should be able to toggle a different routine or scene to change the color or brightness or whatever of a color changing bulb in the ceiling fan fixture itself. So the big debate of smart light versus smart switch is over. The best answer is both, because you can do so much from the switch itself with these Inovelli switches. So hopefully we'll be able to actually push the top button once and have a color changing LED bulb in the light itself turn on and change colors, which would be awesome because that ends the debate of switch versus bulb. So now that we've disabled local control, we can't actually physically pull power from that light anymore from the switch itself. So let's go back into the ABC manager and add a new button device mapping. And we'll select the bedroom ceiling fan once again, and we'll select button 1. Let's go ahead and set this up to a different bulb that is a smart bulb that's connected to my home already, and that would be the living room lamp. So in order to get this to work, I think we need to create a scene and a routine. So let's go ahead and create a scene, and we'll select a color changing bulb, which my living room lamps are color changing bulbs. So we'll say living room lamp right, and we'll call this Inovelli test. What we're gonna do is change the color to, let's say, blue. So that will turn it on and set the color to blue, okay? And let's save that. And let's create another one that will turn that same bulb off. Living room lamp right, and we want to turn it off, okay? And we'll call this Inovelli test 2. And now what we'll do is create 2 routines to activate those scenes, because the ABC button controller can't actually execute a scene. So we'll call this we'll just call it the same thing, Inovelli test. And we'll set this to activate a scene, Inovelli test. Done, save. And we'll create another one, call this Inovelli test 2. Inovelli test 2. Activate these scenes, Inovelli test 2. Save. Now this may be very confusing to you, I apologize, but this will be awesome if it works. Now we'll jump back into button device mapping and select our bedroom light again, and we'll do button 1, which should be toggle up or down. And now we want to go down to run routine, and pushed means up and held means down, I believe. So pushed, and we'll want to do test, because that test was turn on and test 2 was turn off. So for held, we'll select test 2, and we will save. All right, now there are all kinds of other different button mappings you can do and scenes that you can set up, but let's go up in the bedroom and see if these work. All right guys, so we're in the bedroom now, and the switch itself, the Inovelli switch, is right here connected to this light. Now this light is not the right kind of light that goes in this fixture, I understand that. And this is from the living room lamp that we set up in the studio when we set up the advanced button controller. So I just want to let you know that this bulb is being powered from this switch, and it is a color changing Lightify smart bulb. Now I just want to go over real quick that we went into settings of this switch and we disabled local control. So physically touching this button up and down does not pull power to that light bulb. That light bulb will always have power no matter what, unless I went in here and disabled this, or I went in and physically turned it off on here. So as you can see, now the light bulb is off, and you may have heard the internal relay of the switch physically turn off. See if you can hear it turn back on. It's on, it's off. But if I push the button itself, you hear no internal relay doing anything. So let's go ahead and turn that back on so that smart light has constant power to it at all times. So now that we've set up the button controller already, let's go ahead and see what happens when I single press up on this switch. It's not going to turn power on or off to the actual light bulb, but since we set up those routines and we set up the scenes, watch what happens. Yes, it takes a second. There we go, boom. We've got blue color light coming out of our smart switch. And what happens when we push down? Boom, turns off. How exciting is that? Let's say we always want a red light in here or something to set the mood, who knows. You can have that turn red. You can have it turn blue, you can have it turn whatever color you want. Really, the possibilities are pretty much endless. So the age-old debate of smart switch versus smart light bulb is officially over. I mean, the answer is both. You get the best of both worlds when you use this switch. We also set up a double tap. So let's go ahead and double tap down and see what happens to our lamps on the sides there. All right, double tap down. Boom, they're off. Much quicker than the other one, I might add. Double tap up. On. Just like that. So I keep reiterating this. I know I probably sound like a broken record, but this physical switch does not pull power to the ceiling fan. I say ceiling fan, I mean light. I don't actually use the fan. It is not recommended to hook up with a fan. Anyway, this is not actually pulling power from the light. Single tapping this only sends that routine, which sends the scene, which turns that off. That's what that's doing. Pushing that will run that routine, which will run the scene, which will turn it off. It's as simple as that. And now we have local control of both of our lamps in the room as well with a double tap. Boom. That's pretty awesome if you ask me. All right, so as you saw, both of those scenes worked great. All four of them, I guess you should say. Double press up, double press down, single press up, single press down. With that local control was locked, and it was awesome to see that work. So with this scenario, you can have a color changing LED in a fixture that is connected to a smart switch. This Inovelli switch I have to add, it's the only switch that'll work with this. And you can actually push once and have that turn on to a different color or turn off by pushing down the way this is set up today. And that's something that's never happened before as far as I'm aware, and that is very exciting. So I'm excited to see what else we can do with these scenes and other applications for these switches. So anyway, that's all I have for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like and consider subscribing. And I will see you guys in the next video.